All right, I think a quorum is present. Has everybody had a chance to review the minutes from the February 17 meeting? Take a quick sec to do that and entertain a motion. All right.
I don't know if anybody, Mark Lely moved to accept the minutes. I'm not sure if anybody else did.
Second. Support.
Moved and supported to approve the minutes from February 17. Keeping with our past practice here of anybody who is against signify by saying so now. Seeing none, we'll call those approved. Is there any correspondence? There he is.
Oh. I don't know what happened there. The number didn't work.
Ran into the same problem, George. We're just on the correspondence if you want to take over.
Okay. All right. All right. So any correspondence?
I have none, no.
Okay. Seeing none, we'll move on to order of business. And the first item is the proposed approval of 2 medical marijuana renewal grower licenses for Hungary Enterprises. Ian, do you have a background for this?
Yeah, so this is a medical grow facility located at 1100 Industrial, right at the corner there of Bernstein and Industrial. They've been doing some recent construction, but mostly this is renewing the licenses they already have. We have no reason to believe there's a significant change, and the recommendation is to renew their licenses.
And all the various points on the application were signed off by the relevant city official, right?
Yes, I double checked with Jill before the meeting tonight.
All right.
Chair Strander, those actually are not renewal. Those are actually 2 additional grow licenses. I had renewal on there. Those should have just been 2 additional new grower licenses.
Okay. All right. So these are additional, a new grower licenses. Is there a representative from Hungary Enterprises?
Yes, there is. Hang on. Hi, good evening. This is Attorney John Frazier from Gray Wall Law. I'm here on behalf of Hungary Enterprises. Thank you all very much for your time this evening. The city clerk is correct. This is not a renewal. My client is seeking to add 2 additional Class C grow licenses for the facility. They currently have been approved, I believe, for just a single Class C grow license. Their existing footprint is sufficient to accommodate these additional licenses without any expansion or changes to the physical layout of the facility. This is really just seeking to maximize the production out of their existing space. So no material or significant changes to the facility. This is really just looking to expand what they can do in that space and maximize and increase their efficiency.
Okay, thank you. Any commissioner questions for Mr. Frazier? Okay, seeing none, do I have a motion?
Before I guess we get there, there's 2 items that says to be approved by city attorney. One of them is the verification of bank statements. I don't see where the city attorney may have signed off on that. Do we know that that happened? And the business plan, do we know that that's been received?
Okay, Ian or Haley, do you know?
I do not know if that has been received. I received these from Jill for review about, I want to say a month ago, and sent them back to her from there.
Okay, so Tom, you're referring to two things that have to be approved in order for this to go forward, right?
Right, this is on page 5 of 6 of the PDF we received, it's number 17 and 18. It's signed off by I think that's finance. I think that's Tom Mead's initials there, but it says to be approved by city attorney for the verification of the bank statements and a business plan, but I don't see where that was signed off on by the city attorney.
The city attorney did sign off. He just signs off on that front sheet. He doesn't actually sign off.
Oh, on okay, yep, I see it. It's up there on, yeah, the order of the PDF isn't. Okay, I'm good.
All right. Any further discussion, or do we have a motion?
Motion to approve.
I'll second.
Yes. Okay, moved and supported to approve the two new grower licenses for Hungary Enterprises. Any discussion? All right, seeing none, we'll bring it to a vote. And I'll just ask, is there anyone opposed to approving these two medical marijuana grower licenses? All right, then that's approved. We're going to move on now to discussion of mobile food vendors ordinance. You should have received example ordinances from 5 different communities. I think we have a subcommittee set up for this, isn't that correct?
Yes, I believe it's me and Tom and Mayor Snyder and Albert, and I believe Joe. Are you on that one as well? Okay. I sent out my notes to the subcommittee, and I think we're still just all sorting through the examples that we have here. There's a lot of good to draw from these, right? And I think the best ordinance writing is plagiarism when it comes down to it. So we're going to be pulling essentially everything that we think is useful from here. One glaring kind of thing on the Marquette ordinance is that for their application process, they require a description of what dishes and how the dishes will be prepared will be served out of the food truck. I personally felt that that was more information than we needed for our purposes and wouldn't be something useful to add to the ordinance, but that was my take. We haven't discussed that wholly yet. I just sent out kind of my 1.5 pages of bullet points on these are what I think we need in terms of license renewal and denying or suspending licenses and the appeal process for that. It's a lot of housekeeping portions of it, and then from there it'll be discussing if there are any special considerations for Albion that need to be looked into, if we need to write any provisions about that.
All right, is the subcommittee looking for anything from the commission this evening?
I am not personally. If the other members of the subcommittee have questions or concerns, I think this is the time to hear them, but we're moving along on it.
I
Okay,
think
anyone else?
once we get through all these ordinances and we pull out I guess the best parts of each one of them, we can have something to present maybe next meeting.
Okay,
I would even suggest possibly maybe gathering as a group once we've been able to review the documents. They are pretty lengthy.
Right.
And, like Ian said, pull out the best parts. maybe gather so that we can kind of pull together what we would like to see in our proposal for an ordinance and move forward on that.
Ian, can you put something together for in the next couple of weeks to get us all together?
Yeah, I will schedule a time for us to sit down and meet.
Thanks.
Any commissioner questions or comments for the subcommittee? Okay. I did note that Ferndale seemed to be pretty detailed. They seem to be splitting out the sidewalk from the food truck, at least from what I could tell, which I thought was interesting. But all right, we'll be looking forward to seeing what you have. Okay, moving on now to updates to comprehensive plan. Ian, what's going on with that?
So far, we've not met. We've not had notes exchanged. We don't really have any updates on that one.
Okay. Any comments or questions from commissioners on the comprehensive plan update?
What was the due date for that?
It was February.
Oh.
Yeah, we're getting started on it early to get ahead of it, but the due date in terms of continuing our eligibility for grants, I believe, was February.
So sooner the better then.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, moving on to zoning ordinance maximum height discussion. Ian, what's the background on that?
Yeah, so I don't mean to drop this one on y'all late in the game here. We had two events recently that made me want to add this as a discussion item for a possible change to our ordinance. At my first planning commission meeting here, we granted a special use for Knopf for height on a part of their structure to incorporate their process. And then at the Zoning Board of Appeals, we made a variance allowing for Christ Apostolic Church on 440 Beamer Street to construct its, I think the term they were using was church spire. It's an A-frame glass roof along the top of the church, and the zoning board granted them a variance to construct that. It goes up to about 42 feet, I believe is what the number was, which is above our 36-foot height limit. And with those two things in mind, the variance maybe carrying some more weight than the special use, I thought it would be prudent to look into if the 36-foot height restriction made sense for what the planning commission wants for the city. Certainly, I think having that conversation by zoning district makes more sense than overall. Right now, every district is 36 feet with the opportunity for a special use for certain things.
So I think the only people that were in the zoning rewrite was Len and I, or is that right? Was somebody else? Scott, you were there? Okay, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe we were very intentional about keeping that 36-foot height requirement when we did the zoning rewrite. And we wanted to keep it at 36 feet as a general rule, and if there were special uses, then they could apply for a special use, but we were very intentional about wanting to keep that at 36 foot. Is that your understanding too, Len and Scott?
Yeah, that's the way I recall it as well. It was intentional being done that way, I believe.
We just didn't want, basically, we didn't want to have a skyline that was of varying heights, and we thought that the 36 feet was consistent with what the look and feel of our community should be.
Gotcha. I put that on there not knowing the
Sure.
background on that.
Yep.
And anytime, I'm probably going to make it standard practice that anytime the zoning board makes a variance on something, unless it's just really minor, I'll want to bring that to the planning commission for at least a once over discussion to decide if that variance is indicative of a direction we want to go or an exception to the rule. So thank you.
All right. So let's see, moving on to excuse absent board member or members. Do we have anyone who's absent? Well, is Mark? Mark, are you here?
Yep, I'm here.
All right, you made it. All right. Is there anyone do we have someone who's absent?
Sharon Pons, I think is the only one.
All right. Did we hear from Sharon ahead of time?
I did not.
Okay. All right. Do I have a motion to excuse her or not?
Yes,
We have a motion to excuse Sharon.
I make a motion to excuse her.
All
Support.
right. All right. Any discussion on that? We have a motion to excuse Sharon Pons from absence. Did we, and Jill and Haley, we did not hear from Sharon about this?
Didn't.
I did not either.
Okay. All right, any discussion?
This is Mark Lilly. I noticed she was absent last month too. Maybe if somebody could check with her to make sure she's receiving these emails. With the new system, it may be going in her junk mail or some, glitch like that.
I agree with you, Mark, because she's responsible. So I think it has to be something other than the fact that she just don't want to show up.
I will reach out to her to confirm that she is receiving the information.
All right, is there anyone against excusing Sharon Pons from tonight's meeting? All right, she's excused. I guess we should have something here about either comments from the public or comments from commissioners. Any public comment? Anyone from the public who wants to say anything?
There's only one person on, City Councilor Lanou, and shouldn't have her hand up, so I don't think so.
Okay. Any commissioner comments? All right. Well, I'm sorry that I didn't come on right at 7. Next time, I guess I'll use whatever mechanism I used this time to get on. Hopefully the number will work again. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Any support?
What?
All right. Anyone against? I don't think so. All right. Have a good evening.